is triangle sum theorem. Triangle sum theorem. When you're talking about the sum, that means you're adding up something. This is the inside of a triangle. This is old. You should have learned about it in middle school. If I say angle A plus angle B plus angle C, does anybody remember the inside of a triangle adds to make? 180. Another rule that you may have learned in middle school is exterior angle theorem. This is where the two inside add to make the outside. So if you notice 2 and 3 are not touching 1, they're the two interior, they're not touching angle 1. Angle 1 is on the outside. You have a little tail. That little tail tells you that you are not adding to make 180. The measure of angle 1 is actually equal to the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 3. Some of these, so it's the two inside add to make the outside. So if you have a tail, the two inside add to make the outside. If it's just a triangle, they add all together to make 180. So let's start with these two little pictures over here. Let's do this one first. So this one first, I have a tail. So my two inside angles add to make the outside. So this is 79 plus something makes 104. So what would angle 1 have to be? This plus this need to make 104. 25. The top picture, if you notice, we don't have a little tail. It is a triangle. We have a large triangle and we have two smaller triangles within that triangle. So we're going to have to do multiple things because we have to find angle 1, we have to find angle 2, we have to find angle 3. So let's start with angle 1. Notice that angle 1 is inside the smallest triangle. I know the two base angles, this one's 66, this one's 84. How much should the inside of a triangle add to make in total? 180. So 66 plus 84 plus something needs to make 180. What is it?
30.
Perfect. So this is 30. And then you subtract it from 180. The next thing that we can do is you can find 2 or 3 next. It doesn't really matter. Does anybody have a preference? Should we do 2? Okay, let's go in order. Let's go to 2. What's up? You could do that. Yeah. Do you want to do that instead? No? Okay. So for angle 2, I don't know angle 1 and angle 2 combined are like 90 degrees. I don't know anything about them, but I do know if I look at this big triangle, this angle is 66. This angle is 43. This angle, part of it is 30. If I'm looking at the whole triangle needs to add to make 180 degrees. So what could I do if I need to know the whole thing adds to make 180? I know this is 43. I know this is 66. I know part of this is 30. What could I do?
No, add together.
Perfect. So what you're going to do is you're going to take 30 because you know a piece of this angle is 30. If I take 30, I add it to 66 because I know this corner is 66. I know this one's 43. And I subtract it from 180. So let me write this out because I feel like I'm losing you guys. So if I do 30 plus, I don't know, we'll call it X plus something, plus 43 plus 66 equals 180. All of those angles together need to add to make 180. I don't know X, I don't know angle 2. So if I take 30, add it to 43 and add it to 66, what do I get in total? And I subtract 139 from both sides, what do I get? What is it? 31? 41? Can you stop? Nobody cares how tall you are. Okay. So that angle is 41. So you're basically working around adding to make 180. It's going to be super weird. So now we got to find angle 3. We have a medium-sized triangle. if I know this is 41, I know this is 43, 96. Because the medium triangle has to add to make 180, the small triangle has to add to make 180, the big triangle has to add to make 180. So we're really just adding to make 180. What? Weird like that. Okay, let's move to the next one. Okay, so for this one, we have to decide, do we have a triangle or do we have a triangle with a tail? We just have a triangle. So how much in total is this going to add to make? 180. So you pick any angle to start, doesn't matter. We could do 5x minus 2 plus another angle, which is 9x plus 3 plus 11x minus 21 equals to 180. So your equations are just getting big. I'm taking my 3 interior angles and I'm adding them to make 180. I have to combine like terms. So if I look at my x's, I have 5x, 9x, and 11x. How many total x's do I have? 25x, good. And then I have to combine all the constants or the numbers that are by themselves. So I have -2, +3, and -21. 20, good. Is it positive or -20? Perfect. And then you have a 2-step equation. So take a second, solve it. Move your 20 to the other side and then just divide. So what does x 8? So we're not done because this says solve for x and each angle measure. So once I know x is equal to 8, on your EOC, they're going to have you plug back in your values. So if I plug in 8 here for angle D, what is 5 times 8 minus 2? So this is 38 degrees. For E, it says 9x plus 3. So what's 9 times 8 plus 3? What was it? 84. Yeah, I was like, is this, that's wrong. 9 times 8. And then what's the last one? So once you find x, you plug it back in. If it says to plug it back in this case, it did. Take a second look at the next problem, number 7. Determine if you're adding to make 180, try to figure it out, or do you have a tail, or you're gonna have to use the other theorem. So am I adding to make 180 in this case? Nope. So they add in total to make the tail. So since I have a triangle with a tail, I have a little end piece. That means I'm going to take my 2 interior, this plus this, j plus k, and I'm going to add to make that exterior angle. So I'll have 7x minus 32 plus 5x minus 27 equals 9x minus 8. So take a second, try to combine your like terms on the left side. Nope, you're wrong. You're wrong. Wrong again. Yes. Try your problem. Combine like terms. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So 7 and 5 make 12. If I combine 32 and 27, they're both negative. So what is that bringing down? Nice, negative 59. And then there's 4 different ways to solve this problem. I'm going to move the 59 because I always like to move the numbers that are on the left. So I add 59, but you don't have to do it this way. So I get 12x equals 9x plus 51. Is this where you messed up? So you may have did 8 plus 59, but it's negative 8 plus 59. You got a tail. So if you got a tail, it does not add to make 180. So, and then the 9x is positive, so I'm going to subtract it. Well, I mean, I don't know what else to call it besides like a tail. It looks like a tail. 3x. Okay. You guys are gonna be like taking your EOC and be like, oh, look, there's a tail. Okay. And then 51 divided by 3 gets you 17. Same thing though, we need to plug it back in and actually find the angle measure. So if x is 17 and I substitute it back in, I'm replacing x, I'm doing 5 multiplied by 17 minus 27. So somebody with a calculator, what do I end up getting for that? 58. The other angle up top is 7 times 17 minus 32. What do I get? 87. And then what's that exterior angle going to be? What is it? 135? Thank you. So that exterior angle ends up being 145. And then you can check this plus this equals 145. If I plug in 17, you still get 145. So either way. Look at number 8. Number 8's a little cray. A little cray looking. It's a little wild. Yep, we're doing it. We are doing the whole thing. We are not skipping any problems. Huh? Yes, you can use vertical angles. You can use linear pairs, supplementary angles. You can use all the stuff. So for geometry, you're really going to start using things that you've learned from quarter 1, quarter 2. It's going to be kind of just all combined together. So whatever your brain is thinking. So take a second, look at example number 8. Try to figure out number 1. Try to figure out angle 1. Try to find angle 1. Abby. Abby. Try to find angle 1. Okay. You can do it. What's up? Yes, take that. What? 48. Okay, has anybody figured out angle 1? What is it? 51. So angle 1 is 51. If you're trying to look in the triangle, you cannot use adding to make 180 for the triangle part because you don't know angle 2. But if you look, an old thing that we learned in chapter 2 is if 2 angles are directly next to each other, they are forming 180 degrees because it's forming a straight line. So 129 plus 51 makes a total of 180 because they're supplementary angles. Once I know this is 51 and I know this is 95, these two added together plus this angle down here make a triangle to make 180. So what would angle 2 have to be? 34. Very nice. Also from chapter 2, chapter 2 is also going to help us solve for angle 3. What's angle 3? Vertical angles. So what is angle 3 going to have to be? 95. What's gonna be angle 4? What's gonna be angle 5? Nice. Vertical angle is 47. And then I think it's easier to find angle 7 first. 59. Because this one and this one add to make 180. Again, they're supplementary. And then what would angle 6 be? 74. So you're going to start using multiple different things for multiple different chapters to kind of like work around, which is fine. The last example we're going to do together is the next one. It has an old vocabulary word. Does anybody remember what an equilateral triangle means? Good. So if all sides are equal, does anybody know what else is true about an equilateral triangle? Besides the sides being equal? They add to make 180. The angles are also congruent. So if the sides are congruent, if it's an equilateral triangle, that means that the angles are also congruent. So if I know that this is 8x minus 44, I also know B is 8x minus 44, and I know A is also 8x minus 44. Do I have a triangle or do I have a tail? So I'm adding to make 180. So instead of saying 8x minus 44 plus 8x minus 44 plus 8x minus 44, I'm going to multiply by 3 and use the distributive property. So take a second, distribute. This is the last one we're doing together. Solve for x. What's 3 times 8x? 24x. What's 3 times 44? 132. What is this, like 312? Yeah. It is. It should not be that bad, but you'd be surprised. So you should get 13 for the last one.